Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Justin Tafa to defeat Austen Lane. And I'm here to talk about Justin Tafa versus Austen Lane 2. These guys fought a few months ago, whatever it was, and it was a no contest because Austen Lane stuck his entire finger and like half his forearm into the eye socket of Justin Tafa. And again, it happened very early in the fight. We didn't get much from that fight, but this is pretty much the same matchup, only Justin Tafa has an eye injury that might factor into it. But I don't factor it into it. I picked Justin Tafa to win the first time. I'm picking him to win here. And it's mainly because I can trust him more as a fighter. I think he'd be more comfortable fighting longer, even though he's never won a decision in his life. He's been fighting in the UFC for a long time at this point. He has 6 wins, all 6 via knockout. His 3 losses, 1 via knockout and 2 via decision. All 3 of those losses are in the UFC. He had a decision loss to Jared Vanderaa and Carlos Felipe, who I think I mention all the time. I think was kind of underrated. But the Felipe fight especially was a very fun fight with Justin Tafa and Carlos Felipe. That was a brawl, and that's one where, you know, shitty cardio would have shown itself, and it didn't there. His 1 knockout loss to Yorgan De Castro, I think that's his first fight in the UFC, but Yorgan, big strong guy, and he cracked him coming in with just a beautiful right hand and knocked him out. And since then, Yorgan's gone on to beat Junior Dos Santos with a bullshit stoppage. That was an injury or something. Yeah, an injury, I think. But either way, Justin Tafa, he has 6 wins. They're all via knockout. He's gotten a few in the UFC. We've seen him knock out Parker Porter. Got him out of there in round 1. Seen him knock out Harry Hunsucker. You know, these aren't the best guys, but still, they're good enough fighters, and I'd say they're better than anybody Austen Lane has beaten. Austen Lane has 12 wins, 11 via knockout, 1 via submission. His best win, I guess, would be over Juan Adams, former UFC fighter. He knocked him out in round 4 after largely being dominated. But that's how Juan Adams fights go, just about every one of them. He's got that big old head and he's ready to be knocked out. But credit to Austen Lane for getting it done in the championship rounds. You know, one thing you can't deny is cardio in that respect. He was being worked for a few rounds and got the TKO in round 4. His other good victory was over the guy Jacoby on the Contender Series to get into the UFC. He was taken down, mounted, and then reversed the guy and caught him cold and just ground and pounded him. Austen Lane is very, very dangerous. Again, 12 finishes in his 12 wins. But he's also been TKO'd 3 times. That's how he's lost all 3 of his fights. Greg Hardy, and it's funny to think about how well, Hardy didn't have a shit career here, but it's funny to think about how Austen Lane was just some afterthought, and now here he is 5 years later, and he's back in the UFC. So it says a lot about Austen Lane. Again, this guy, he made all this shit happen. And his other losses to Vernon Lewis, this guy that ground and pounded him. You know, Austen Lane was shelling up and just caught there. He's a big guy and maybe not the most mobile when you put him on his back, the most agile. And this guy, Frank Tate, knocked him out as well. Another strike against his chin. And that guy, I think, was 42 at the time. So there's that. But look, Austen Lane is dangerous. He's a big, strong athlete. Again, 6 inches of height, 6 inches of reach. He could make a lot of shit work for him against Justin Tafa. But Tafa, unless his chin's gone to shit, I think he's going to be a tough nut to crack. And he is going to be cracking back. And I trust Justin Tafa to stand up to the offense of Austen Lane. I don't trust Austen Lane to stand up to the offense of Justin Tafa. Last time they only had 20 seconds, so it is what it is. I scored it 10-10. I don't know about you. But with nothing really to look to here for this matchup, this rematch, I'm still going with my original pick, Justin Tafa. I'll take him via triangle choke in round 3. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit. Check out my other videos.